Seiring berjalannya waktu, sangat banyak industri yang berdiri, khususnya industri yang bergerak di bidang teknologi. Dengan banyaknya industri yang berdiri dan terus berkembang setiap tahun, membuat banyaknya permintaan tenaga kerja dari berbagai industri teknologi yang memiliki pemahaman yang kuat tentang teknologi seperti front-end engineer, back-end engineer, data analyst, dan masih banyak lagi peran pekerjaan yang dicari oleh industri saat ini. Oleh karena itu, Yayasan Anak Bangsa Bisa berkolaborasi dengan Kampus Merdeka hadir untuk membuat program studi independen Generasi Gigih sebagai solusi bagi talenta teknologi muda Indonesia untuk mengikuti industri teknologi yang berkembang cepat. Melalui program Generasi Gigih ini diharapkan dapat menghasilkan talenta teknologi yang kritis, gigih, tangguh, budaya saing tinggi, sehingga mampu menghadapi tantangan di masa depan. Perkenalkan, saya Bahrudin Zaki, mahasiswa Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, sebagai peserta studi independen bersertifikat Generasi Gigih 2.0 yang siap menjadi talenta teknologi yang kritis, gigih, tangguh, berdaya saing tinggi, dan siap menghadapi tantangan di masa depan. Dalam program Generasi Gigih 2.0, terdapat 3 jalur yang dapat dipilih oleh peserta, antara lain front-end track, back-end track, dan data analyst track. Dari ketiga jalur tersebut, yang saya ikuti adalah data analyst track. Dalam program studi independen Generasi Gigih 2.0 ini, saya memperoleh pengalaman belajar yang luar biasa seperti technical class, soft skill class, career readiness class, English class, hingga pengerjaan final project. Dalam final project, saya membuat data dashboard dan juga data analisis. Dalam pembuatan data dashboard, saya menggunakan tools yang disediakan oleh Google, yaitu Google Data Studio. Google Data Studio merupakan tools yang biasa digunakan untuk membuat visualisasi data seperti diagram batang, garis, pivot table, map, dan lain sebagainya. Google Data Studio ini juga merupakan salah satu tools yang disediakan oleh Google secara gratis dan juga kita bisa menghubungkan melalui Google Spreadsheet, Google BigQuery, Google Analytics, dan lain-lain. Dengan menggunakan Google Data Studio, saya membuat data dashboard tentang ketenaga kerjaan di Indonesia, mulai dari grafik tingkat pengangguran terbuka, grafik tingkat angkatan kerja, grafik tingkat penduduk Indonesia yang bekerja, dan grafik jumlah penerima program Kartu Prakerja. Selain itu, saya juga membuat penelitian untuk menganalisa data dari data-data yang telah dikumpulkan. Dalam melakukan analisa data, saya menggunakan tools Google Collaboratory. Google Collaboratory merupakan tools yang disediakan oleh Google yang mereplikasi Jupyter Notebook. Dengan Google Collaboratory, kita bisa melakukan kolaborasi dengan tim untuk menulis pemrograman. Dalam analisis ini, saya mengangkat 2 hipotesis, yaitu pengaruh dari angkatan kerja terhadap tingkat pengangguran terbuka di Indonesia pada masa pandemi COVID-19, dan pengaruh program Kartu Prakerja terhadap jumlah penyerapan tenaga kerja Indonesia pada masa pandemi COVID-19. Dari hipotesis yang saya angkat, kemudian saya menganalisa data untuk menguji hipotesis tersebut, dan akhirnya didapatkan kesimpulan bahwa kedua hipotesis tersebut diterima. Dan setelah pembuatan data dashboard dan juga analisa data telah selesai, and finally, this time to showcase with my team.
Oke, Andres, can you start?
Oke, dimulai dari sekarang ya.
Thanks in advance for the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, dear all team Generasi Gigih along with mentors and all our Generasi Gigih colleagues. First, let me represent my group to introduce our group members. We, Group Data Analyst Employability 16, which is mentored by KED, with group members Bahrudin Zaki as project leader, Devia Dwi Arianti as IT, Muhammad Diaul as IT, Setiawan Nur Iksan as Analytic, and Andris Wiliana as Analytic, with the employability team. Our project goals and success metrics are measuring how effective the Prakerja program is in increasing the labor absorption during the COVID-19 pandemic, to decrease open unemployment 2020 to 2021 and as a consideration to continue the Prakerja program or replace it with another program. And for the next slide, Iksan, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Andres. So here's the problem statement. The number of the labor force in Indonesia is increasing over time. As we can see in the graph on the right, there was an increase from August 2017 to August 2021. On the other hand, the number of open unemployment in Indonesia experienced a significant increase in 2020. There was an increase of almost 4 million people. From this data, we can conclude that the number of the labor force has an effect on increasing open unemployment in Indonesia, especially during the pandemic of COVID-19, where the labor absorption in Indonesia during this pandemic is not optimal and more attention is needed by the government. And for the answer, due to the high level of open unemployment, the government has issued a Prakerja Card program during the pandemic of COVID-19 to provide incentives and training to reduce the open unemployment rate and, of course, to increase employment. From the graph above, we can see that employment during the pandemic 2020 until 2021 has increased in the line with the Prakerja program during the pandemic. And from the graph, we can conclude that the Prakerja program has an influence in increasing the level of employment. And here's our hypothesis. Based on the problem statement on previous slide, we can develop a hypothesis. H0 is the number of the labor force has no effect on open unemployment during the pandemic COVID-19. H1 is the number of the labor force has an influence on open unemployment during the pandemic COVID-19. And H0, Prakerja program has no effect on the number of labor absorption of Indonesia during the pandemic COVID-19, and H2 is Prakerja program has an influence on the number of labor absorption of Indonesia during the pandemic COVID-19. And for the population and sample, we use all data in each region and city in Indonesia, which is sourced from the Ministry of Manpower, satudata.kemnaker.go.id. In addition, the sample used is all members of the population. And for the methodology analysis, this research method use quantitative research method using ordinary least squares regression to see the influence between variables. Okay, for the data dashboard, Zaki, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Iksan. Before the data dashboard, this is our tools for working on project. And okay, this is demo time. This is our dashboard. This dashboard about display information about employment in Indonesia, and we provide the number of provinces in Indonesia and the number of districts and cities in Indonesia. And we also provide the filter. So the user can choose the provinces that they want to display, and the graphic display information about the open unemployment in Indonesia. We use the combination of graphic of line and bar chart, and this is same with the above. This information about the labor force in Indonesia based on gender, and this is the information from working population in Indonesia based on gender, and the number of recipients of Prakerja Card program in Indonesia. And for the further information, we provide the pivot table with heat map. This is display information about open unemployment in each district and cities in Indonesia. So this is same with above. This is information about labor force in Indonesia for each district and cities in Indonesia, and so on. And finally, we provide the correlation scatter plot that display information about correlation for each variable, like open unemployment and labor force, and open unemployment and and labor absorption, and so on. Okay, we can continue to data analysis. Devia, can you continue?
Okay, now we move to the analysis part. As we mentioned earlier, we have two statistical hypothesis tests. First, we want to know the relationship between the number of labor force and open unemployment during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to find out what regression methods will be used, the normality and linearity tests were carried out. We performed a normality test using the linearity test and found that the p-value for both variable is 0.2. Then we can conclude that the sample comes from a normal distribution. Next, from the scatter plot, the two variables seem to have a positive correlation. For accuracy, we can see the correlation coefficient is 0.5, which indicates that the variables can be considered moderately related. Furthermore, the linearity test using SPSS shows that the significant value of deviation from linearity is 0.733. That means the data is linear. So, from the result of the normality and linearity tests, we decided to use ordinary least squares regression or Loess regression, and we got the p-value is lower than 0.05. Therefore, we can say that the labor force affects open unemployment, and the higher the labor force, the higher the open employment rate. And we can see the R squared in the result that indicates the influence 0.25 or 25%. That means the labor force influences 25% to the dependent variables, and the rest is explained by the variable that are not examined in this analysis. The same method is used to test the second statistical hypothesis, and the result of normality and linearity tests show that the distribution of the variable is normal and linear. So we performed the Loess regression and found that the p-value is also lower than 0.05. Therefore, the null hypothesis is rejected. And this means that the prakerja program affects labor absorption, and the higher the prakerja program, the higher the labor absorption rate. From the R squared in the result, we can say that the prakerja program influences 14.1% to the dependent variable, which is the labor absorption. And that's our analysis. Based on the result of our analysis, we make recommendation to the government to continue and improve the provision of prakerja program, and also the government can provide other programs to increase the number of labor absorption in order to reduce open employment in Indonesia. And next, from working on this project, our team learned many things. We learned how to build a project, how to manage a team and time. We also learned problem solving and English skills as well. And that's bring us to the end of this presentation. We really hope that our project can have an impact on society. Thank you.
Sekian, terima kasih video dari saya. Semoga bermanfaat. Jika kalian suka dengan video ini, silakan like, komen, dan subscribe channel ini. Akhir kata, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.